That's right. Many people might not keep track of the ups and downs of their lives based on fiscal years, but guess what? The CRA does. Big personal moments such as moving, getting married, or starting a new job can be stressful enough without having to think about how they affect your taxes. So we've once again partnered with TurboTax to show you how to navigate filing taxes after a major life change. And joining us this morning with her expertise is Stephanie Riccio, TurboTax Canada spokesperson and CPA. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good to see you. So many Canadians find tax filing intimidating, especially after a major life change. So let's go over some common misconceptions that prevent people from filing on their own.
Sure. So the biggest is that when you go through a life event, that your taxes immediately become complicated. And the reality is that for most people, that's really not true. You can continue to prepare your taxes or leverage a tax solution like TurboTax. What's really important is as you're going through the process is that you're incorporating those changes into your return so you get consideration for the credits, benefits, and deductions that you should be eligible for.
You know, I've gone through some life changes too, and I think we've become very robotic almost in how we file taxes because we just want to get it done. So what are some of the milestones or changes in life that would make filing taxes a little bit more different, and what specific changes to filing your taxes should you consider if one of those things has happened to you?
Perfect. So definitely a change in marital status. So going from single to married or common law, or the other way around. This will affect your household income, which impacts the credits and benefits that you're eligible for. And of course, you might change your name or your address as a result, and it's important to make sure the CRA has the correct info for you. Starting a family or adding to a family, you want to make sure that you've got those dependents included in your tax return so you can be considered for benefits like the Canada Child Benefit or other credits or deductions. And then, of course, buying a home, particularly a first home, whether you withdraw from an RRSP or you might be eligible for the home buyer's amount deduction, or you've participated in an FHSA. This is all tax benefit that you want to make sure is included in your tax return to maximize your return.
Now, having used TurboTax myself, one of the nice things is it asks you these questions along the way. And you can actually use this to your benefit because you can also offset some of these costs. So, you know, there are big moments in life like getting married, you know, it comes along with new expenses. So how can we use tax season to try and offset some of these costs?
So yes, getting married is very expensive.
Yes.
So the best advice is really to start to prepare your return together instead of individually. And this will allow you now to optimize credits between yourself and your partner. And that's really the best way to make sure that you're incorporating a little bit of tax planning into your return and then maximizing. And this lets you pool things like charitable donations, medical expenses. So that's really the best way. And even if you decide to go to school, that's something you can transfer between partners as well. So.
And that happens in different times of life, right? Like you might decide to go back to school. So having that on your vision board, if you will, and having that planned out is really important. For our younger viewers as well, whether, you know, it's getting your first job, graduating from university, or living on your own, you know, many young Canadians have experienced significant life changes as well. So how can people like me offset some of those changes?
So a great one is if you're a student or young professional who has moved at least 40 kilometers to be closer to school or a new job, you can take advantage of the moving expenses deduction, and you can deduct the cost of transportation, storage, even temporary housing. So that's a great one. We know young people have side hustles. You've got to incorporate that income into your tax return, but you can also take eligible business deductions to reduce your taxable income. And all of it sounds like a lot to try to remember, but that's really where a tax solution like TurboTax comes in and is such a great help. Not only can you work with tax experts who will answer your questions or even file your return, but this year, if you are new to TurboTax and switch to TurboTax Assist and Review and file by April 15th, you can work with a tax expert for just $60. And there's more info on that at turbotax.ca.
Very good. Okay, really quickly, we've got a minute left. What are some other tips to remember when you're filing after this eventful year?
Time to get organized, income slips, receipts, donations, all that good stuff should be coming together. Get your access to your MyCRA account set up and ready to go. Of course, remember the deadlines. For traditionally employed Canadians, you're filing by April 30th, self-employed by June 16th, and of course, make sure you're maximizing all the available credits that you possibly can.
Amazing. Getting that CRA account set up is a big step, and it took me some time, but once it's good, you're good to go. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
TurboTax Canada spokesperson and CPA Stephanie Riccio, thanks so much for coming.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.